Hi, welcome to Work Woman, my second YouTube video. My name is Chris Williams, and my goal is to just share some things I've observed and experienced and learned over the years working in largely program, project, vendor, product management area, transformation efforts, and a lot of change management. So hopefully you can glean some little nuggets or tidbits that will be helpful to you in your work experience. So today I'd like to talk about prioritization. Prioritization I found to be incredibly critical in the workplace, whether it's product work you do, data governance, transformation, change management, all play a part in most organizations in some way, shape, or form. And the ability to prioritize the work we need to do is something that can be really, really challenging for organizations. Some organizations do it really well. For a lot of organizations, it's hard. Assuming we don't have unlimited time and people and budget can make getting work done and getting it prioritized really, really challenging. So on that note, I think an incredible starting place is really strategy and planning, and taking the time to do mindful, thoughtful, well-planned strategy and planning is really helpful in setting priorities. I think, step number one is looking at by domain or division within an organization, what are the objectives and goals for that domain, that division within the organization. So bringing those leaders together and really initially getting grounded on what are the enterprise, the organization's goals and objectives and key results expected. And really then understanding how is a domain or division, what are our goals and our objectives that align and roll up, specific to us, but of course in alignment with the enterprise or the organization's goals and objectives. So getting grounded, bringing your leaders together to get centered on that. Then giving the leaders within the domain division an opportunity to kind of do breakout sessions. And again, strategy and planning might be a 2 to 3 day effort with a clear agenda and objectives and time boxed. But breakout sessions for leaders within the domain or division to really look at, what is it that we need to do? What are our priorities for work in the upcoming year? And with an eye always looking around the corner beyond, but the teams within your division may have work in the area of product development, customer experience, data governance, process improvement. Almost every team will have lights on, run the business work. Most teams can't get away from that. That's just part of what the organization needs to do. There may be transformation, modernization efforts, growth and development, training and staffing of the team. So the priorities that your teams within your division set may fall within any of those areas or other areas, but really making sure that what's identified as far as priorities roll up to your domain or division's priorities and objectives, which in turn always roll up to the enterprise or organization's objectives. Once you have the teams within your domain or division have identified the priority work that they recognize and they have identified, really coming back together as a domain during that strategy and planning session and really doing that share out of, hey, this is what our team sees as priorities and how we feel they align to our division's domain's objectives and goals. Sharing that out and having an opportunity for questions and Q&A and other folks sharing observations or identifying risks or dependencies, really, really helpful at that high level strategy and planning and sharing. Assuming you come away from strategy and planning with a vision for your division, your department, domain area, really identifying where do we need business cases. Some companies have a very disciplined and defined process for business cases and development of business cases, and how that needs to happen, how that fits into the intake process. Some companies are small and there may not be a well-defined intake process, but a business case is a great opportunity to document and capture what's the problem we're trying to solve for, what's the value, how does this align to the enterprise goals and objectives, what's the ROI or the CBA, the cost benefit analysis. Hopefully there's an opportunity to work with someone in the finance area or the finance team to help with a cost benefit analysis or understanding ROI on that priority work that you want to do. What are the high level resources needed? What do you think the timeline is? What do success metrics look like for this priority that your team division wants to deliver? What are some risks and complexities that folks need to understand at a high level? Assumptions and maybe some key open questions. So being able to reflect those in the business case, really, really important. It takes some time and collaboration, but if you can find someone that can speak to and be a champion for that business case, that's the person that should probably be presenting it. They know how the priority fits into your domain or division's overall goals and objectives. They're a champion that can speak to the ins and the outs and the details that are known at that point for that business case, and they can articulate it well. Again, hopefully that business case feeds into some sort of intake process or review and vetting so that you have a thumbs up, green light based on the time, the resources, the budget required. And you can then move into kind of the more detailed level of planning around that product or project or program priority, more details around timeline and resources and scope. That can allow you to start building that backlog of work, whether you're working in an agile tool like Jira or Azure DevOps, great tools, a lot of other outstanding tools out there that can be utilized. I always love the tools that give you an opportunity to look at an enterprise level at the programs, projects, product work going on, and the backlogs and the relationship and the tie out. And give you a line of sight to capacity and demand. It's really big for me. So just a little side note there. The hope always is that you have a product owner, program leader, stakeholders that are fully engaged in the work that is prioritized, that has been approved to go forward. That takes time and energy. So really understanding the time commitment as you're going through the business case and vetting and seeking approval, being very transparent on, the time expectations needed as far as commitment from those that need to support the work is really important. Hopefully there are also health checks along the way when you're delivering a product initiative or program project initiative. A health check every couple months or quarterly, super important to understand how are things progressing. Is this a healthy product initiative, program initiative, from a budget and resource and timeline standpoint? How are things going? So that you can take a look at, is this still being prioritized appropriately? Is it getting the time, the people, the resources, budget needed to continue, or do you have some red flags and status in some areas that are of concern? And how do you need to adjust to overcome that and mitigate those areas of concern? So anyway, those are my quick thoughts on prioritization and how to get there. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comments area. If you like what you hear and see, please subscribe, share this with others, and I will do my best to respond to any questions you have in a timely manner. But thank you for listening. Take care.